How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from, I'm going to butcher this name. I'm just letting you know straight ahead. Comments down below, as always. Wojtek Siudmak. Again, I'm sure I'm butchering that. I believe he... Oh, shoot, I forget. Evidently, English is not the main translation that he works in, the main language that he works with, but his art is gorgeous, beautiful stuff. Just the painterly style that he has, the tonality to all of his paintings is beautiful. Just the gradient way that he paints in this piece in particular. I love his imagination. Great silhouette, really strong readability here, and that flow of these background characters is really nice. It gives that kind of a little bit of a jaggedy arc through here, and then you have the framing as well with these kind of what would it be, veiny planets in the background. Just a wonderful imagination, and I really dig his style. Again, he's got such a beautiful mind and a gorgeous way to get those thoughts that he has in his head out onto paper. I feel like that connection between his spirit to his mind, to his body, to out into the world is very clean. And again, I'm sure that he would probably, most artists at least, say that it's not ever quite the way they envisioned it, but I feel like he's got a gorgeous way of working. I love the way that he renders all of the light in this painting here into the glass as well, and getting that nice little bit of reflection. Just a gorgeous piece. I really like these ones too. Again, wonderful characters and a great composition and layout here, especially with this one in the back, which is just kind of like a robot alien head thing. It invites the viewer to jump into that world and think about what that might be like, and I feel like he does that wonderfully. So I urge you guys to check out more stuff from him. I'll throw a link in the description below if you guys want to see more, but I was able to get a quote from an interview that he did, and he said that there are no barriers, everything is possible, and spirit, talent can choose unusual paths. I love this quote because there's really nothing stopping you from doing what you want to do. It's just you have to put in the effort and the time to do it, and you have to believe in yourself and not let things get in your way. You have to just keep at it, even when it's tough, even when it's difficult, even when you think I want to give up. You got to just keep taking another step in your journey, and that's the stuff that we talk about, and that's the main reason I do these videos each and every day, is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to take another step in your journey, to carve out some time today, work on your own dreams, and just grow and grow and grow towards mastering whatever medium it is that you're passionate about. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into some animation for today. We're continuing up with our secret password shot. I think we're going to work mostly on the lip sync today and start and actually do some more evolution of the mouth shapes here, so we can push mainly those P's and Q's, get some of those mouth shapes working. I think is going to be the main goal for today. We are using the Malcolm V2 rig, which there will be a link to in the description below, and Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video for more information on that and all the stuff that we talk about. And if you guys want to shoot me a message on Twitter or Facebook or any of the ilk, feel free. Links are in the description. So let's go ahead and turn our NURB curves on, and we'll turn our get our clothes off. Sounds fun. And just turn the visibility on this stuff a little bit more. Okay, we'll just have to do it manually here. Turn the hair off here, and pants and the shirt, just so that our scene is a little bit lighter, so we might get a better frame rate for while we're recording. When you're doing this at home, if you're using this rig, you probably don't have to do this, but with using recording software and Maya, things can sometimes get a little hectic. So I tend to try to make things as light as I can here. So let's see where we're at with everything. One thing that I was thinking about doing I just kind of wasn't liking so much is still the feet. I feel like there's some stuff there. So one thing that I thought maybe would help us a little bit is to look at the translate X here and just bring those in a little bit so they're not as far spread out. I thought that might be something just to tweak here a little bit. So it's not as wide of a gate for each step. I thought that would be a little bit better. Let's look at that again. Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit better. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at just our mouth, and we'll break this down into chunks of, let's go 50 frames per. I feel like that's a good way to look at this here. So we're mainly going to be looking at the lips and how those are going to be working, not necessarily the jaw. We already kind of did our Muppet mouth pass, so we have like our opens and closes here, but this is going to be more about the mouth shapes themselves that we're going to be looking at. So let's turn our audio track on, and hopefully I still have the recording going. So we're going to want to take our lips here, and maybe we'll just start with these two here. We'll set there, and we're going to want to bring them together a little bit more so they kind of explode open, and we're going to want to rotate them a little bit together here so we get that the b and p sound. You have that like explode open kind of feel. So we'll go with something more like that to start off with. So right here, then we'd roll the lips open a little bit more. So we have that pa, pa. Actually, let's I'm gonna break this down into just 25 so that I can actually hear it, because framing through it I'm not hearing everything real quick. So I'm just gonna do a quick play blast just so I make sure that I'm hitting those. Okay, great. So this isn't really a P, this is more of an A sound. I was thinking it was started a little bit sooner here. So we can keep this. I kind of like the exploding open, but it's more of an aqua. So we want to start off with the qua being qua. So we want to get that kind of pushed in lip. So like right here we do this. So we push the corners in here. Let's go ahead and set them there. And bring the corners in here. And we'll go ahead and push the lips open a little bit more, and I'm not going to hit every single so we'd have qua. So we'll go ahead and bring that down a little bit more and that up a little bit more. Make sure we bring those down here, and maybe we'll bring these corners down a little bit more too. And bring those back up a little bit more. This one doesn't look so great. Let's see if we can change up this frame a little bit more. So set everything there. Set everything there. We'll go ahead and delete this one. Delete that. I'll exaggerate this a little bit more, so I'll keep this. And let's maybe a little bit lower here, and a little bit further out here as well. A little bit more up, a little bit more up. So let's see. So we have aqua, aqua. Okay, let's do a quick little. Okay. I think I want to push the sound for the, and again, we don't have to hit every single one with a different mouth shape. That would make probably our lip sync feel a little overly pushed. So we just want to hit those like P's and Q's and M's and just really get those to sell. And if you can sell those and you get that Muppet mouth pass where you have it opening and closing for all the important parts, probably get there most of the way. So. So that and that. Let's go ahead and get more of an M shape for our mouth. So it'd be right about here. We go ahead and bring that down, roll it in a little bit, bring that up a little bit more, roll it in a little bit, so we get that kind of that shape. Out a little bit more. And then here we can bring those back out a little bit more, because this would be the sound. And we could bring that in a little bit more. So we have ma. This we can kind of leave somewhere like that. Maybe just tweak it a little bit more. D, D, E. Maybe even go a little bit lower with the corners here. That'll probably work well enough. Again, I want to try and get this maybe in maybe today and tomorrow. We'll work on this. It depends on how fast we can roll through the lips. Yeah, so let's do another play blast and see how we're looking for this first 20. All right, I think that's working. Okay. So we'll go from there. Again, let's go ahead and save our file here too, and we'll look at the next and we're back. So let's go from let's say 20 to 50 here. And the next one I believe is this is da da fa da 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 da. That's fine. We like to do a little bit different each time though, so we're not doing the same pose here. Go ahead and bring that down a little bit, but we're gonna need that fa noise when he goes da fa daddy. That's the fa noise right there. So right here we need this lip especially to be up and in there. bring that one down a little bit here. Def, and then it needs to be down and open again, so you get that fa, 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 def, fa. Let's even push it out a little bit too. We'll really tweak this one so we get that fa going up. Try and get that cell a little bit more. Go back up and open so we get that. Fa. Okay, let's just look and do a play blast there and see just how that worked. It's okay. You can probably still so let's see. Def. I think it's this top lip that I just don't like. So let's leave it here and there because I think it. Let's have this one really fling out. Maybe take everything one frame sooner here. Yeah, I think that'll work for our F sound. Fa. D, d. And let's go here, make sure we go. Go and set them there. Maybe bring them in a little bit here. Gotta raise them up a little bit. And then go down and bring them out a little bit. And let's go ahead and raise that lip up a little bit. Push it out. Bring this one down a little bit here. D, d, d. Close that one up a little bit. And then we'll go. Okay. And let's go to 40. Again, we'll make sure that we just key everything here for right now. D, 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 D. So let's bring those down. Remember, don't hesitate to look ridiculous on cam or in front of a mirror or anything to get those mouth shapes that you want. I always do that too. I usually have a mirror right over here in my top desk drawer and I just hold that up. But if I'm doing stuff on cam, I'll look in my webcam and just see how that looks as well. And maybe we'll roll this up a little bit more. And bring that up a little bit too. And we could always take this and break down each and every lip shape even further, but I think we'll be okay for right now. Okay, and let's just kind of watch that again. I'm just looking at the mouth here, and we'll do another play blast and just see. Alright, I think that works okay. This is really just to accentuate those mouth shapes on those important parts. We already really have kind of the open and close working. So that's why I always do that Muppet mouth pass first, which I think was from a couple days ago that we did that. That's really to get you know, the open and closes where we need them, and this is just to how to get between those or blend them in a little bit more so we get those important mouth shapes to help sell those syllables that we're getting across. So let's go from, let's say, 35 to 70. I'll break that down a little bit. And I think I'm going to do a play blast first just so I can hear this little part again, because sometimes these aren't... Usually, the fun thing about this lip sync exercise is that these aren't normal words, and they're mispronunciations of a non-normal word. So it pushes it and makes it so it's fun to try and get these syllables in there. But it's not normal words that I'm used to animating to, so I tend to have to listen to my audio track a little bit more. So we'll do a one time through just to make sure we're getting the right sounds that we need to get, and then we'll start. Okay, so we're gonna do defa, mossy, and then quada. Okay, so dad e, def, da. Okay, so we can keep pretty much what we have here. We need to do another F sound here again in a second, so we'll go here. So right here, this is going to be the beginning of our F. So we're going to want to get that flick of the lip here. Go ahead and bring this up here and over, up again, and bring this out a little bit. And bring this in a little bit. So get that nice lip. Okay. And we'll go ahead and just to make sure that we key everything again here. Defa, fa, fa. So go ahead and bring that over. I'll make sure I'm using the right controller here. So I'll rotate that out. And we'll overshoot it a little bit more. And I'll try and leave it in as much as we can. And we could leave it down a little bit more. Okay, and this is going to be an M sound, so we're going to want to bring that mouth shape here. And we'll go ahead and leave that where we have it there. And we'll roll it in a little bit here. Bring that over, up. Bring that lip down a little bit more. I want to get that nice M shape that we can. And bring that down here. Okay, so we got that lip shape there. Go ahead and set that. Is going to be our next one, so go ahead and bring this up and bring those corners in a little bit here. Down just a little bit and in a little bit more. Aw. There we go. That'll work. deaf maw. Okay. But this is one of those clips that I grabbed because I thought it would be fun to play with the lip sync because we could really get into some fun mouth shapes here. C, E. So right here, we're going to go ahead and bring that down a little bit and over a little bit and over a little bit more. And bring those lips down a little bit more here too. And maybe a little bit wider here too. We have is qua, so we're going to go back into doing a mouth shape that leads to a Q here. So get there. So then we're going to bring these corners in there. And we'll go and bring that forward a little bit more. And this forward a little bit more. Down a little bit of like kind of duck face that we're getting into here. Okay, so that works all right, and then we'll just exaggerate the next pose here. Open that up a little bit more, down a little bit more. Rotate that out a little bit, and we'll bring these corners in a little bit more here as well. That's fine. Don't exaggerate every single syllable, because then when we do exaggerate, we want those to stick out, so not every single thing has to be. This could be a little bit more vowel. I guess we could go in a little bit there. Get those lips. Gotta get these lips closed so we can get our posse. So they gotta pop our P's here. Bring that up a little bit more here. What layer did I have that tablet on? Hide that here for a second. We need to have that open wide here because we want to get that P sound. And get those corners in a little bit more here too. Let's look from the side. We need to close it a little bit more so we can get that P. Okay, let's do a play blast of that and just see where we're at here. Alright, that's working okay. Alright, and we're back. Just saved another version. Remember, it's always good to save multiple versions and to save often. So let's go from 65 here to 95. Take our next little step here. this is kind of where we left off, right about here. Let's make sure we set all of those. Then we want to hit the sound, so we'll bring those corners out again. And let's get that rotate out, translate there. It's okay. I think there's, I'll set that one and set that. I think I'll delete this one. Posse, that works okay. Okay, and let's do a play blast just of what we're going to be listening to for our next section. Okay. Alright, so we got this is the one we want to hit, but we got to get a closed mouth shape here and closed here, so we can get that pop of our P here. And we'll bring these corners in a little bit here too. And I think this is like a breath. So let's leave the mouth open a little bit here, and open a little bit here, and get those corners in a little bit there as well. And let's get that in. We're going to have to do some hard work here getting this working. We're going to really push these lips, see how far we can go with them. And we bring that corner down here. In a little bit here, and rotate it in a little bit more. Bring this lip up. We're really pushing these lips because the mouth is open here, and I want to keep it so we can pop it open. We're just going to really have to get this mouth shape working a little bit better for us here. This works, but I think we might get rid of the frame before it. We'll see. I'll keep it for right now. Set all of that. And we're going to need to pop our P really big here, so we'll rotate that out. Rotate that out again. Bring that out again, so we got and we'll rotate it more out there and more out there too. Might be a rotation thing in the jaw that I'm seeing here. Maybe we'll delete this one. There we go. these corners down a little bit more if I can here. This is a sa. So we'll leave that for right now. I'm sure I'm probably going to go back in and tweak it a little bit more, but I'll want to watch it before I... This is our S sound here, so I'll bring these out a little bit more. Bring this lip down a little bit. They both need to come down a little bit more too. And maybe in, they might be sticking out a little bit more too. And maybe there's too much rotate on here. That's okay, but let's bring those corners in a little bit here. And bring them down a little bit there. Yeah, that works. Pass. We need to get that qua next shape there. So again, we'll set that one. So this is going to be our qua. So our qua. Bring our corners in a little bit more here. Our lip over here. And bring that down. Push it out a little bit. Out a little bit. Because I think we got a little bit of rotate in the jaw, so that's why we're getting that. Cool. And this one, let's go ahead and rotate those lips out there. Sus sound. Make sure we key everything here so we don't lose our corners there. And this is our sa, so we're going to have open wider but closed more here. And less rotate in the lip here. Over a little bit more there. I like to try and show the teeth a little bit on any S's. Now this one I still don't know that I really like. Cool. I'll just keep tweaking it here. Down a little bit more, try and get a nice flat sound there. Bring that down. this one could be in a little bit more. Maybe bring this lip up a little bit more and rotate it out a little bit. Let's do a play blast of that and just see how what we're. It's all right, but I think we gotta exaggerate that passa. I don't think the anticipation for it is there. I think we need to hit pretty much what we have here and hold it for another frame or so it'll read a little bit better. So let's set that at about 77, so. And bring that up a little bit more here. Okay, let's try that now, see if that helps that passa. Alright, again, we'll probably do another day on lip sync, or just another tweaking with it, but I think that's alright. Especially if we want to try and get through the last little bit here for today. So let's go ahead and save our file and work from there. Okay, and we're back. Remember, it's always good to save multiple versions and to save authors. So let's look at from 90 to, let's say, 120. And I think this is going to be the last bit of really lip movements that we need to look at, because I think that we really need to focus on, because the ending kind of crying isn't really that intensive for how we're going to be looking at this. So, and let's do a play blast first and just listen to it and see what. Okay, so it's just repeating that same thing pretty much over. Passa, plassa, passa, quassa, I think is what it would be. So, we got this. So I need to get into the P sound again. So right here, let's kind of key off what we had at 93. And this one would be our anticipation for our P sound again. So bring that in and bring that in. Up a little bit. And bring that in a little bit more too. So let's see. So here we need to make sure that we get those lips out. And this one, where'd that bottom lip go? Controller, there it is. And rotate that out. And this one, let's go and lift that up a little bit more. This is the S sound here, so I'll get these corners out. Get those lips up a little bit closer together. And bring these up a little bit more too. So we got pass. Don't really care for that, where it is there. exaggerate this a little bit more and bring in these corners here a little bit more. Yeah, this one will go here, keep where we have here. Something like that, but we got to get that qua, that cool. So we want to bring this up. Let's bring these corners up a little bit more here. Bring this down. Hold on here. Need to get this mouth shape working, but we kind of want to work around the pose we had here. And bring in a little bit more. And get these corners working a little bit more here too. And we want to bring this out a little bit further. And this is going to be that S again, so we're going to bring this out a little bit more, and this up a little bit more, and that down. Still try and keep some of that shape that we had there. And bring this down a little bit more. And here we could bring that out a little bit more like that. Okay, let's do a play blast and see how that's working here. Alright, it's okay, we can still do some pushing, but let's try and get that last 30 frames of just a little bit of looseness in the lips working a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and save our file. Okay, so now we've got just the kind of ending there. So let's go from like 110 to, what is that, 158? And let's play blast that real quick just so we can. Okay, so the only thing here is I don't think that I want this mouth to open up so wide towards the end, so we could like just kind of hold like what we have here on the jaw. Have like that be our ending there, because I don't think we need to open up so much more towards the end there. Okay, I think that's a little better. And actually, let's just do another play blast and see if. Alright, it's a little better. And then let's just take kind of that same timing and we'll just delay the lips a little bit more. So look at the lips here and the jaw. Actually, let's look at, let's just do rotate X on all these just so we have a timing to work with here. key one there. Key one here. Key there. Key there, just so we can get a little bit of bounce here. Key there. Key there. Key there. Key here. And key there. And then again, I just want to go back into the jaw and make sure I'm not keying anything I don't need on the jaw, just the lips, so you have some bass timing to go with here. Okay, so really want to just do our translate Y's here at the same time so we can do those. It wasn't really about the rotate X's, but that way we could get the timing built in, so we'll key our translate Y's where we need them to be here. And then if we want to do a little overlap in the rotate X, we can. And then there. Okay. And now let's look at those translate Y's here. Okay. So at this point, let's have them drag down a little bit more. And we can go up here. And down there. And up again. And down again. And up again. And down again. Okay, and then let's delay this by about 2 frames. Yeah, let's see. And let's look at our rotate X's here. And let's look at them. We've got, let's go ahead. I'm going to do these individually, I guess, here. So I'll go ahead and drag this down a little bit there. And then it would go a little bit up here. And then drag it down a little bit there. And then up a little bit here, just so we get a little bit of floppiness in this lip here. And drag it down there. And up here a little bit more. And down there. And down there. Do something like that. And let's look at the top lip. And we'll go ahead and go down a little bit here. Let's actually push the translate Y a little bit further down here, just so it drags a little bit. And again, go ahead and rotate it in here. Out there. Down there. it's probably a little too over-exaggerated on there, so we'll go ahead and play with that a little bit more. So let's see. Alright, let's do a play blast and look at that. And alright, we can definitely use some more tweaking, and we'll get in there probably tomorrow and loosen up the sides of the mouth there too, because just the front of the lips isn't really getting exactly the effect I want. And I was thinking maybe even do like a little bit of a ripple effect through the lip too. We'll play around with that, I think. But let's do a play blast of everything that we did on the lip sync, and we'll go from there. Alright, so let's do a playthrough. There's a little bit of lag through here, so apologies about that, but let's go ahead and look at it again. Alright, so overall pretty good. I think I'm just going to mute that. We'll let it play in the background, and we'll take a look back at where we started. We're looking at the beautiful work of Wojtek Siudmak. Again, I'm sure I'm butchering that name. Apologies, but I think his work is beautiful and gorgeous, and definitely check it out. And he said, there are no barriers, everything is possible, and spirit, talent can choose unusual paths. So find out what your unusual path is and put your spirit and your talent behind it, and don't let anything get in your way. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and had some fun with me. We don't really get into too much of pushing the lips that often, so it's kind of a fun little break from the normal. And I think for me that workflow kind of works, where you do a first pass that's like an initial facial expression pass, then you go through and you do just kind of an up and down Muppet mouth pass where you're hitting the opens and closes where you need to, and then go in there afterwards and push the lips so that you can really get those important M, B's, P's, and Q's and quas and all that kind of stuff, so you can really accentuate your lip sync, because I think it helps a lot. I still would like to go in there and do some cheeks as well, so that those would be affected. I think we did a couple areas probably at the end. I think I did a little bit in there, but it'd be nice to do a little bit in there so that face felt a little more pushed through there. And yeah, I think that'll do it for today. You guys were amazing. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope that you guys learned something, or learned what not to do, or at least got inspired to go out and carve some time out of your day to work on your own dreams. And thanks for sharing this time with me. You guys are amazing, so we will see you for some more animation, some more imagination, some more creation, and just having fun together and taking another step in our journey alongside each other